It's time for the Stain Game with your host, the one and only Justin Menezes. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, bon dia, boa tarde, boa noite. This is Justin with the Stain Game podcast, coming to you live from the Azores, specifically the island of Terceira in the Azores. It is 5:18 p.m. and who knows what time it is where you're watching or listening this from. But I just wanted to jump on here. We don't have any bangs or any rains, but we did find this little gem. It's a monster made in Europe, and it is the bad apple juice. And it is delicious. So, wanted to hop on here for a little bit and talk about a couple of things. We've got as you can see, our professional wood care expert stain and seal shirt on. We like to represent, and we've been here talking to a couple of municipalities about potentially doing some work for them. It's been a long process, but we're getting there. So let's do a little research, a little history back into what we're doing. My parents, my mother and father, are originally born and raised on this island. My family history tree dates back to the early 1700s, all from this little island of about 8 by 13 miles. You hear a little goat. That's because we've got 2 little goats sitting in the yard. Don't believe me? Let me show you. Follow me on the path to the little goats. Say hello, little goat. This is the talkative goat. She is a female. The white and brown one over there is a little male. Not so talkative. The sun is shining. The weather is gorgeous. Let me show you guys something else. Hopefully I can get this to work, because we all know technology and I don't always work very well. But let me give you a scenic view. Isn't that ocean gorgeous? So, we are in the Azores. Why am I in the Azores? My mom and dad are originally from the Azores. My whole family comes from the Azores. And so we lived here for a couple of years. After I graduated high school, I came back here, kind of an in-between, not knowing what to do with my life, and came here and learned how to snorkel for octopus, how to harvest seaweed, and how to make a living doing it. And absolutely loved it. Still to this day, my favorite job to do. And if you're asking, hey, did you go snorkeling? Oh yeah, you better believe we went snorkeling. Took the kids snorkeling, Get In and Steal, taking Christian snorkeling. Athena and I went snorkeling. Raquel and I went snorkeling. We even caught an octopus. We caught some limpets. So yes, absolutely, we've gone snorkeling. So we came here a couple of years ago, Christian, or I guess just last year, Christian and I, and we noticed a lot of untreated, beautiful projects that the municipality of Angra, which is like the capital city of the island, had, that they invested to build. And I'm talking thousands of square feet worth of boardwalks, little landings. Hundreds of thousands of people come to those boardwalks and those landings throughout the year. and they are untreated. They've got plenty of organic growth happening on them. And we thought we should put a bid together for tax purposes as well as for restoration purposes. So we did. Then Christian and I, we were in the Praia, the Victoria. That's the next biggest city here. That's our local city. And we went to the kids' park, or the green zone. Not the green zone if you're in the military family or background that you would think of, but more of a green zone, parks, ponds, more of a nature type zone area. And there were a couple of pergolas. There was a very large 4-foot picket fence that was untreated. And we thought, hey, that's another possible project for us to work on. This stuff is so good, folks. So good. And so we decided to come back, and so we decided to present an estimate for that. We had some talks. We presented what we wanted with the prices, and we were told there was no money available. So months went by, and then we had a follow-up email asking some follow-up questions, and we made an appointment to visit once we're here on the island again, to sit down and to discuss what we have to offer, the processes, the procedures, what we do, what we don't do, how we hand stain versus spraying, the chemicals that we use, the chemicals we don't use, because we don't bleach things. They are very anti-bleach. They want an eco-friendly cleaner, so precarbonate would work great, or a little sodium metasilicate. Um, and so that's what we've done. We sat down, we gave them the breakdown, gave them the procedures, and now it's a matter of dollars. What is feasible? What is reasonable? Would we be interested in a potential sponsorship program where we do the work and we cut some of the price off to have maybe a placard with our name saying that we did it because we care about the island that we come from, so on, so on. So now we're negotiating. We'll see where it goes. So I wanted to talk a little bit about dealing with foreign municipalities. A lot of places don't do business like we're used to doing in the US. So it is wise and helpful to find out what the standards are, the standard procedures, the SOP, standard operating procedures, how to present a proposal. Um, we were lucky enough that we have, because my parents are both Portuguese from the Azores who belong to the European Union, I, believe it or not, have citizenship in like 3 different nations. I'm a Canadian citizen, still am, always will be. I'm an American naturalized citizen. Love it, grateful, thankful for being an American naturalized citizen. And my mom and dad, when I was born, made sure that I was registered as a Portuguese citizen, which makes me a citizen of the EU. Now, because I have that citizenry and citizenship in the EU, I do have a financial identification number. I have basically all the right documents needed to be able to present a proposal like we did. We lucked out. So if you are thinking you have families in Brazil, you have families in Germany, you have families in England, you have families wherever, it would behoove you to find out if what you offer would work there. Secondly, would you be able to actually present a proposal, an estimate to do the work that you see that needs to be done? If you are seeking to do it, find out what is required legally for identification numbers, financial numbers. Some places will require what we require in the US as a social security number. So find those things out. And then secondly, or thirdly, or fourthly, um, education, education, education. It is important to educate on what you do, why you do it, and the benefit for that locality, that municipality, that island, that country, that you can provide them the services. Now, one of the topics we talked about that we would be discussing today is also team members and your staff. We're here on the islands. We've been here for a few weeks, and we'll be leaving here soon, shortly. We're already making plans to come back, not just for the proposal purpose, but because we love being here. It is an absolute gorgeous place. Highly recommend you coming if you ever want to visit a beautiful island. So much to offer. Great food, great places to swim. The beaches are amazing. The sun is awesome. We haven't even gone to the bullfights. We haven't even gone to the festivals, but we have had a great time. So teamwork, teamwork, teamwork. The importance of having a great team, uh, a good group of people who can run your organization while you are away. So when we started the podcast, when we went official, Staying Game podcast, we had my wife on and she talked about the beginning of our business and our thoughts and our goals and dreams. And some of them were to have more family time, more time to get away, more time to enjoy the fruits of our labors. And this is one of those fruits of our labors where we are able to go and enjoy ourselves, go and have a good time. And when we have a good time, it typically consists of our family. We are family oriented. We love our family to death. We support and seek to grow our family. And that's how we enjoy spending the fruits of our labor, is with our family. That includes extended family, close family, even distant family. So, one of the ways that we're able to accomplish that is by having a good network of team members. Now, any of you who have worked with Caleb and Ashley Roth, who know Stain and Seal University, everybody knows that they talk about the importance of having good team members. If you've listened to or heard, watched Matt Warner talk about culture, he talks about the importance of team members. And if you have not bought into having the ability to have a good group of individuals, males or females, men or women, who can work with you, work for you, work together with you to build what you're dreaming, to build what they can buy into, you will create a team environment that will help you grow, help your family grow, help your business grow, and help the profits to where your fruits of your labors will benefit and make themselves visual to you. So, my oldest boy, Justin Roy, is working for me full time, and he is basically running the operations like I would if I was there. It helps to have a mini me. Yes, you hear my empty can. That monster is gone. I might need to go get another one, but we'll see how it goes. So Justin Roy, my oldest boy, who started off with us at the very beginning, is now running the operation while Dad is gone. Now, how is he running the operation? So before we left, we did some very simple beforehand, during, and after planning, right? So we have, your SOP basically. It would be the same kind of thing of a standard operating process, and gave him what our schedule looked like, what we had for jobs to get started and do. Contact information, obviously, when you're traveling abroad, check with your cell phone carrier. Check where you're going to find out if it's cheaper to maybe get an eSIM or to get a MiFi to take around with you. Find out if where you're staying has Wi-Fi. That's what we're using right now to record this, is the Wi-Fi at the house. And then we have our travel pass plan, is what Verizon calls it, as a backup, just in case we need it. It may work, may not work. It is very spotty. But he's able to communicate. He's able to call, ask questions. Customers are able to also communicate through text, email, and even phone calls while you're gone. So he's running the operations. He's taking care of things. He's getting the guys out working. We have Edwin and Michael. Michael has been a new addition. That's been a fantastic new addition. We call them the African Duel. Edwin is from Kenya. Michael is from Nigeria, thus the African Duel. Or they joked around and called us the UN of staining, because we've got an American who is born American, and my son, Justin Roy, and Christian. Then you've got me, who's Canadian, American, Portuguese. And then you've got Michael and Edwin from Nigeria and Kenya, respectively. So kind of like the UN coalition of staining. That's what we're kind of jokingly calling ourselves when we go out and stain. And it really helps having two respectful, honest individuals with integrity who take pride in what they're doing, and who are also bought into what we are doing as a company with making all things new, deck and fence care. So build yourself a good team, have your team buy into what you're trying to do and accomplish, and also buy into your employees, buy into your team. What I mean by that is, don't treat them like they're just workers. Now, obviously, our business is very seasonal, right? We are in Nebraska, and in Nebraska, our season typically starts March, April timeframe, ends October, November timeframe. There are some months where we can go early March, end of February, long into December. But typically we're March, April, October, November. And then occasionally we do some interior painting, but that is typically our season. It is very difficult to hold on to your employees if you're only offering 8 months, 9 months of work. One of the ways that we've utilized is we do not pay 1099 wages. We don't contract our employees. We use their employees. We pay them through a W-2. They pay taxes, they pay their deductions. They're also contributing towards their unemployment. And that's a tool that they can utilize if they choose to. Because if anybody knows how unemployment works, it's a benefit that sometimes can be as frustrating as pulling teeth, and as painful as pulling teeth. So unemployment benefits are much like taxes. It comes out of your paycheck. You as an employer pay towards unemployment. The employee pays towards unemployment. And then when they go to collect it, they've got to apply for unemployment, and they've got to qualify for unemployment. And the unemployment office takes your money, regardless of how many years you contribute to it, and it gives you a flat rate, regardless if you've been working for 1 year or if you've been working for 30 years. You're still going to get the same amount that they've determined that you have qualified for, and your benefits will be paid out. You'll have to justify that you should be collecting every week. And after you jump through some hoops, you'll get your unemployment check. Now, it's not very much. I always warn my guys, I call them my guys, my friends, my compadres, that it's there to use. It's there for you to, use. If you can utilize it, utilize it. But it's not a whole lot of money, and every state is different. So educate your employees on what unemployment is, what the benefits could potentially be. That's one way of trying to keep your guys or gals with you in those seasons where you're not working. Other ways of doing that: interior painting, snow removal, Christmas lights hanging. If you're hanging Christmas lights, taking them on and off, that may take you into December, January, and sometimes end of February or into February. If you're in snow removal, I got plenty of friends who do that, and it is a hit and miss business, and it is very, very cutthroat. You get one client who'll pay you $50 to do the driveway and the walkways, and you've got them on the books to do, and then you get there and you find out they hired somebody else who was going around doing it for 25. So it's very cutthroat. I'm sure there are people in that industry and business who talk about contracts, who talk about this and that. But in my honest opinion, and from what I've done with snow removal, good luck trying to hold somebody to a contract for removing their snow from their driveway and their front walkway and sidewalks. I don't even mess with it anymore. So moving on, taking care of your employees. One of the topics we talked about, or we mentioned that we will discuss, is bonuses. It is, now every business is in a different situation, different circumstance, where bonuses may not be something that you can offer your employees for a little while. We certainly could not offer bonuses for years. And when I say for years, that I mean years. We've been in business for 10 years, going on 11 years, 10 years, I think, maybe 10 years. And we just started offering it last 2 years, I believe. This will be year 3. And what we have found is that knowing your numbers, you need to make sure you can offer a bonus, and that you yourself as a business owner and your family can sustain paying out bonuses. Now, our bonuses are based on work completed. So the guys, when we get together, as I've shown before to a lot of you, we go on a business meeting and we have it at a restaurant, or we try to do a fun time activity. The guys are on the clock. In our case, we say guys because we've got Edwin, Michael, Christian, Justin, Roy. And they're on the clock, so I'm paying them to be there. And I'm expecting them to interact, to participate, and to provide feedback, both positive and negative. It's an open mic. I'm not sitting there judging them if they think we're doing something wrong or that we can do something better. I want to know what we can do better. So kind of like in the Army, we have our after action review, AAR. That's kind of how we run our business meeting. We get the positives, some negatives, or some improves. We don't want to say negative anymore because the Army is so soft and touchy. So positives, improves, and then they give us suggestions, overall suggestions on how we can better the operation. And during those meetings, that's when we come up for future goals for the upcoming month. So as an example, because we like to break things down, keep it simple, stupid. We go over through the month what we did in business. We did 35,000 for the month. We had 10,000 in expenses for stain, brushes, plastic, da 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 da. We had let's just say 10,000 in wages. That gives us 20,000 worth of expenses, and we had 10,000 for net profit. And off of that, if we reached our goal, then we give them an envelope with their cash bonus. We pay our guys in cash for their bonus. Uncle Sam already takes out enough of their money, and I mean their money, as well as mine and yours. So we do pay out cash bonuses. And then after guys have kind of looked through their envelope to make sure, things look right, and our cash bonuses are based on performance. So obviously, if you are lazy, you're not working for me. If you are walking around with your hands in your pockets, you're not working for me. What I mean by performance is, let's say, again, keeping it simple, 40 hours a week, 4 weeks in a month, 160 hours. If Edwin worked 160 hours, Michael worked 160 hours, Justin Roy worked 160 hours, and Christian worked 100. Well, then Christian's bonus is a little lower because he worked less in efforts of reaching the team goal of 30,000. So if we were dividing the bonuses, we would have 3 at the top level, 1 at the next level, and that would be represented in his bonus amount. If all 4 of them work 160 hours, all 4 of them achieve the top level of that bonus. Now, how much are the bonuses? I'm not going to tell you. They may tell you. So you can go ask Michael, Edwin, Christian, Justin Roy. They can share with you. Those bonuses amounts should be something that you discuss with your partner, your spouse, your team, and put the number out there. We discussed what we wanted to offer, and they countered our offer with their offer. And then we came to a mutual agreement of kind of a middle road in between both and agreed on an offer that we both sides could agree on. So that's how we figured out our bonuses. Why pay out a bonus to your team workers, your team members? One, it shows that they're invested in the business. It'd be easy. We'll just throw out a round number out there. It'd be easy to put away $5,000 and say that's my winter saving money. And if you're in business for, like we talked about, a seasonal business, if you're doing seasonal work and you're doing 8 months, and if you're paying out, we'll make it even smaller. Let's say $2,000. And you're in business for 8 months, it would be easy to say, well, I could just put away $16,000 for when wintertime comes and they can just go get unemployment. Well, true, but you're probably going to get guys and gals who work and who appreciate the opportunity to work. I just feel, my wife and I just felt that if we are being blessed in the fruits of their labor towards our business and they're working earnestly and honestly for their wage, and we're paying them what we can pay them and we think is an honest and fair wage, that giving them a little bit more helps their family, helps them feel motivated and bought into what we are all trying to accomplish. That's what we do. Everyone's got their reasonings for why or why not. Find your why and go off of that. Now, I wanted to share on here because I am sharing this with SATA, which is the local airline company. I wanted to share some horrible experiences that we've had with them and through them. So first things first, we like to plan ahead as much as we can. I'm not the best planner. My wife is an excellent planner, and she is the planner of the Menezes household. And we decided we wanted to come here, so we bought our tickets. We bought 4 tickets in December of 2024. And then we invited some friends and family members who would like to come and join us. And we made it we made tickets available to them. We purchased all the tickets, my wife and I. And so we invited all our children to come. Some couldn't because Noah's in the Ranger Battalion down in Savannah. Justin Roy was getting ready to leave the Army and join the Army Reserves, and he didn't know what his plans were going to be like. And so, long story short, in the month of January of this year, we purchased 5 additional tickets. So we had 9 tickets purchased, and those tickets aren't cheap, but we purchased them, and we got our seats assigned, and we're set. Now we just got to wait for the day of departure, right? Well, The month of February came around, and SATA informed us that, well, before I get to that part, so we purchased our 4 tickets. My wife, myself, our 2 little ones, Gideon and Steele. And like normal, we had a carry-on, and we had an additional bag for check-in. I purchased the next 5 tickets month later, less than a month later, and I never bothered to look. My fault. But for some reason, you're only allowed a check-in or a carry-on. I'm sorry, no check-in. And I later on found out as I'm scrolling down the electronic ticket that looks like just a Word document. I look on there and it says additional bag, 123 euros. And so I called SATA, Azores Airlines, but it's SATA. And I asked, hey, I bought 4 tickets, got my carry-on, and I got my check-in bag. What happened to the other 5 tickets that I'm now only allowed a carry-on? Oh, if you want to check in a bag, it'll cost you an additional 123 euros. 123 euros with conversion rates and the different charges that you're looking at over 150 bucks each way for a check-in bag that normally comes as part of the ticket purchase. So they're money grabbing. All right. So I said, all right, fine. I'm not too late, whatever. We'll make it work. So in February, we get an email. We never get a phone call. We get an email. There have been alterations to your flight schedule. Please check sata.pt, which is Portugal.com. So I go on there and I check, and they have now rerouted us. So in the Azores, there are 9 islands. And when you fly from North America, whether it's Canada or Boston or the US, you fly into either Terceira, which is where I'm coming from you now, or you fly into San Miguel, St. Michael, which is the capital island, if you want to look at it that way. And so we are now being rerouted on our return flight to go from Terceira to San Miguel, then from San Miguel to Toronto. I thought, well, no big deal. At least we know ahead of time. And I looked at the departure dates when we were leaving. We were going to be leaving, the 5. Christian, JMO, Christian, his girlfriend, JMO, Raquel, Ellie, and Sarah. And they were originally going to leave at 7 in the morning, or first change, 7 in the morning, leave to go to San Miguel, and then 4 o'clock to leave to go to Toronto. Then in March, another change happens, just to those 5 tickets. They're now leaving at 11 a.m., landing in San Miguel at 12. They're about 12 noon, and then flying to Toronto. Then I notice that the ticket for Sarah is spelled with a T, and her name is misspelled, so I had asked them for a correction. No problem, we'll take care of it. It's not an issue. As long as her passport says Sarah, it won't be an issue, blah, 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 blah. Then another altercation happens, or they alter our flight again. So 3rd alteration to the flight times. We're now flying 2 o'clock, arrive at 3 o'clock, fly out at 4 o'clock. After we're okay, fine, shouldn't be a problem. We're right there at the airport. You're not going to have much of a layover. No big deal. We're good. So when it comes time to leave, we're at Toronto, leaving Pearson, and Sarah's ticket is incorrect. It says Stara, Starah, Stara. And they start making a fuss. And I tell them I called multiple times to have this changed because I did. Called, email, called, email. And they said it was all right. They run her passport, just like the people at SATA told me. They'll run her passport, nothing will happen, it'll be fine. Run her passport, she goes, nothing happens, she's fine. Check in our luggage, make our flight. Flight was fantastic. One minor turbulence part, as if you know anything about flying through the Atlantic Ocean right off the coast of North America, where the perfect storm movie and issue happened with the boating. If you haven't seen it, read the book, go read it, go watch the movie, great book. Only turbulence we had. The food wasn't bad. We arrive. It is like 6 a.m. We're getting our luggage. We pick up all our luggage, and then we're missing a bag. That's weird. We're missing a bag. So we go to luggage, and we claim we're missing a bag. And they start telling us that no, our bags are all here. No, we're missing a bag. Da 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 da. So we file a complaint, lost bag. They tell us the bag should be here within 24 hours. If not, you can go buy, here's a voucher for doing this, then there's a voucher for doing that, and da 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 da. The next day, we get a phone call. Your bag is here. So we go claim our bag. Sarah's bag. We go to claim Sarah's bag, and they tell us we can't give you the bag back until you give us the other bag you took by mistake. And we're like, what? I'm like, what? What the? Yep, we're not giving you back this bag until you give us the bag you took. And I just start losing it. Are you accusing me of stealing someone else's bag? Yeah, we're not giving you. And it just goes on. And I'm like furious now. I'm red. I'm about to go Hulk on the shirt that I'm wearing, which was my Expert Stain and Seal shirt. Ripped that shirt open, and I was gonna bang her. I told that lady, "You better call the cops because I'm about to bust through this piece of glass." Lady starts, "Oh, take it easy, take it easy." I'm not gonna take it easy. You're accusing me of stealing a bag. Calmer heads prevail. I didn't bust through the glass. They finally looked at the ticket. The numbers matched, and it gave us our bag back. End of problems, right? No, 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 no. We're getting ready to fly out, or the kids are getting ready to fly out the day before. And I get a text message. Your flight has changed again. What the heck? And then I look at the flight changes, and they are now altering their flight from the afternoon until the evening. They're leaving here at 7:55 to go to San Miguel. No big deal, right? The plane from San Miguel going to Toronto only leaves at 4. So they're only going to miss their connecting flight by 3 hours, right? What's the big deal? That's how they felt. What's the big deal? You're like, oh, no, you don't. You know how much I paid for my tickets? You figure out the math. If you're looking at over $1,000 per ticket, to buy new tickets is going to cost $1,700 each ticket. All right. That's $8,500 that you're just expecting me to pay out of pocket because you want to throw me off of my flight or throw these 5 kids and one adult off of their flight so that you can do whatever you decided to do. And they're going to just have to buy new tickets. Get out of here. So oh man, I went nuts in that little airport screaming. And then what made things worse, it falt Português. Não é tanto bem, mas ainda falo bem português. Eu sei ouvir bem português. But when they were talking, I started talking English. Hey, we booked these tickets. I can't tell if I have a little spot or if that's just a shadow or what that is. But anyways, so I told him, hey, we booked these tickets and now you're altering our tickets. And, this is not going to work out. We're going to miss our connecting flight. And my voice is a little louder than that. And the lady looks over to her coworker and she says, this guy in Portuguese, right? Estou aqui a fazer uma espalhaçada. He's here making a big issue about nothing. And I was like, uma espalhaçada, isso que pensas que eu vou fazer aqui? Eu vou fazer uma espalhaçada aqui. I am going to make a big deal about this. Oh, you speak Portuguese? And I'm like, yeah, I speak Portuguese. I speak Spanish. I speak French, German, Canadian, American, English. And I even speak some Chinese and Japanese if I have to, too. And her buddy, the male guy, was just like, huh? And she's like, Senor Fala, yeah, I do speak Portuguese. You better fix this damn issue or crap is going to hit the ceiling. And she's like, take it easy. No, I'm not going to take it easy. You better call somebody because this needs to be resolved. I'm going to call the police. And the cop hears me. And instead of approaching, no, he's running down the stairs. He's running away. I ain't going to get involved in this. He doesn't want anything to do with this. So I figure, okay, what do they do? The guy says, well, we have an opening at 7 a.m. And that just put me over the edge. Wait a second. You took me originally off the flight from 7 a.m. until the afternoon, or later in the morning, till the afternoon, until later afternoon, until like missing my flight. And now you're going to put me right back on the same flight that I originally bought the tickets for. Yeah, we have 5 seats. I'm like, those are the same 5 seats we had before you guys took us off that flight. That's why you have 5 seats. The guy's like, sir, it's not my fault. I'm just here. Da, 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 da. I'm like, yeah, I understand, but just get me the tickets and make sure Sarah's name is spelt correctly. Okay. Everything's fine and dandy. The next morning, Sarah's ticket is spelt incorrectly. And then they have the audacity to say, you can't fly because your name is spelt wrong. They shouldn't have let you flown out of Toronto with your name spelt wrong. And the sad thing is, on her ticket, it's spelt incorrectly because they inputted it incorrectly. It's not my fault. It's not their fault. It's just a lack of competence, a lack of professionalism. So, 6 a.m, no energy drink in me to calm me down. I went in there and I raised some bloody hell. Why do I bring this all up to you? Because as business owners, it is important to be professional. It is important to treat others with respect and professionalism. We are all human. We all make mistakes. We all screw up. But it is so, so important to be professional. Now, I wore this shirt for a couple of reasons. 1, I like the color. 2, I like the company. 3, I like the owners of this company. And I like that it says professional wood care expert. When I deal with my business and my customers, I treat them with respect, professionalism, kindness, integrity, honesty. They may be 100% wrong in what they're asking or expecting, but I will show respect, professionalism, integrity, and honesty. I'll let them know they're wrong, but I'll do so in a right way. You as a business owner, you are the standard. You can be expert stain and seal, professional, or you can be a SATA professional, where you think you can just bully people around, or you could just think that people are just going to bow down and grab their ankles and open wide for you to give it to them. Last lesson, when you're in a foreign country, things don't always go what we consider to be professionalism. Here on this island, one of the things that I detest the most about this island is the class standard. That if you work at SATA, you're just expected to be told what they want to tell you and that you're just going to accept it with no questions asked. The same thing at the bank, the same thing at the hospital, the same thing at any type of government agency. By the way, SATA is owned by the government. Now, I didn't know any better. Now I do know better. So when they just tell me, you better do what we tell you and shut up, I ain't shutting up for anybody. I'm going to let you have it. And guess what? It works. Now, I'm not encouraging anyone to go out there and be rude and be mean and disrespectful and crude. What I am encouraging you to do, go there, be professional, be respectful, be kind, be honest, but don't turn the cheek after getting spit on and then give them another cheek to be spat upon, because they will continue to spit in your face. Folks, we are approaching 50 minutes. It is time to say goodbye. It is time to say sayonara. Next time we come on, we'll be back in the States, be back in Nebraska, and we'll see what we have to do when we get back as far as the show purpose goes. Folks, until the next time, it is always a pleasure to have you on. Thank you for listening, watching, and supporting our show. Let your friends know about us. Give us a review, a like, follow us, and especially keep tuning in. That's all I got for you. Have a great one.